We are launching right now. And it's off. That's good. And so, just to explain, I thought I'd get right into this. This is the Minmus 5C. You have experienced the Minmus 5 before. In fact, by the C, you can tell this is the third one. The first one had some launch staging issues that didn't even get out of the atmosphere. The second one successfully landed on the moon, but had a staging mishap and was only partially successful, so I thought I'd fire another one on its way out to the moon to try and do it again. And as for the mission is that this thing has a materials bay and a goo aboard. It's to land on the moon, collect those things, as well as some other science as well, and then return the materials bay and the goo back to Kerbin, because with the Kerbalism mod installed, you have to deal with samples. You can't just simply transmit them back. But I thought I'd just get started right away. We are, of course, launching at, we're on our way to Minmus. We are launching at the equatorial descending node for Minmus. And we are launching into a 6-degree inclination so that we'll match Minmus's plane, and that's why we are also launching at night. But I think the sun will be coming up pretty soon. Okay, we just nerfed the thrust. Actually, I'm going to take this opportunity as well to welcome aboard my newest patron, Matthew Gardner. Usually I do this during the tutorials, but as my tutorial series is on a summer hiatus, I thought what I would do is just start doing these during these live streams, and then I get these names out quicker as well. So Matthew, thank you very much for your support on my Patreon channel, as well, of course, to all of my patrons that help me keep this channel going. All right. Hello, Dan. Welcome. Good to see you. Okay. 40 kilometers, should be locking on to prograde. I did make one bit of a change that will be, I'll point it out as soon as the fairing is gone, which happens at 50 kilometers. But otherwise, this is an identical rocket to the Minmus 5 from, actually it was just last stream that one failed, I think. I think it was. I don't know. Take a week off and I forget what's going on. Okay, about to stage the fairing. Okay, that seemed alright. What I added on to this thing is a whole stack of batteries. All of these Z400 batteries that you see around here are all new. I'm not quite sure what I was thinking. I did not consider the fact that the Minmus night, when you're on the surface, is about 6 hours long. So it did not have the battery power in order to run the experiments through the night. And it does have... Oh, I think we just hit, yeah, we hit 80 kilometers. It does have aboard a seismometer and the gravioli detector, which take days to collect all of the science that it's supposed to collect. So it needs to run through at least a few nights. And so the Minmus 5 actually has not nearly enough battery power to last through the night, which actually reminds me, if I take a look at the Minmus 5, it's right here. I can go to the, is it under configure? Oh yes, I've turned off all the warnings already, so that is good to know. Let's get back to the 5C. There we go. All right, coming into our final part of our orbital insertion, and then it's off to Minmus. And then what I plan on doing is actually sending a science lab out towards Minmus, attaching it to the station, because that means that I will not have to keep reprocessing samples all the time. So I thought that would be a fun thing. I also have a contract to put a science lab on the station as well. All right, yeah, and science lab will give us a chance to see some more docking. This is coming up in the chat. All right. I should also show you a notification here. This notification is kind of funny here. It says contract complete. This was an automated sample return from Minmus. The mission was to land on the surface of Minmus, collect some science and then return said science to Kerbin, which never happened, but the contract did complete. The reason is the predecessor to this one, the Minmus 5B, did land. There we go. We are now done that. The predecessor to this one did land on Minmus's surface, but the return portion of it, which is up here at the top, failed. It was a staging mishap, and this part of it failed, and it crashed back into the surface. But then the Minmus 4, which was collecting goo and materials bay in orbit about Minmus, did return to Kerbin, and I guess the contract got confused. Lucky me. So that's okay. Okay, let's set this up to get to Minmus. This way. Add a maneuver here. Put in the 920 meters per second. Maybe a little more. There we go. And again, we're just going to go just for a regular capture here. Nothing too fancy. Whoops. Let's do that. Oh, actually, I kind of like the way that this is coming up over the top a little bit, because that will give me more options for where we are to put this down. Let's see if we can minimize our burn, though. I can get a little bit off of this. Okay. I'm going to go right like that. It's pretty close to being polar, give us lots of options on which to land. Some of the science that's on this thing is biome specific, so good. We'll send this thing on its way, and then we'll get going on building ourselves that lab. And the burn is coming up in 24 minutes, so let's get to that. Thank you, Swegwords. I hope I'm saying that right. Swegward says he appreciates the stream. I actually really do enjoy the stream part of it. Thought I wanted to put the tutorial series on a bit of a hiatus just because of the time that it was taking to do them all the time, but I'm very, very happy to keep doing these streams. Alright, this thing's getting itself sorted out. I think the only reaction wheels are in this probe body. This is still, by the way, a pretty old probe design. You can tell by the probe bodies. I do have the Octo 2, but these are what? These are Octo 1s. And the reason is because I took an old moon probe and simply just tweaked the fuel in it to make it appropriate for going to Minmus without changing really much of anything that was in the actual design. That's probably why I had the oversight of forgetting to put the batteries on it. The other one that went to Minmus. There we go. Now, one thing while this burn is going on that is a bit of a concern is if I check Minmus Station, you can see actually that Michael O and Bob, their little heart icons, their happy, healthy icons, have now gone into the orange. And the reason they're into the orange is because they have crossed over the halfway point towards a lethal radiation dosage. They are at 53% of the radiation that will make them lethal. They've been there, frankly, just too long. While I've been dorking around with all these other probes going to Minmus, they've been just going around, round and round in Minmus in the station. The station does have shielding, but clearly, I don't know. I think now that they're over halfway cooked, I think it's time to send them back to Kerbin. So while this thing and then the Minmus Station is on its way out to Minmus, I'm going to be sending Michael O and Bob on their way back. Oh, we're getting close to the end of this burn here. Let's see how it finishes off. Been finding these have been undercooking, and most certainly undercooked, significantly undercooked again. And I'm not sure Why? Let's turn this throttle right down. We'll just sort of finish this off a bit with a little bit more. Here it comes. It's not a big deal that it undercooks. I mean, it's better that than the opposite. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. I'll just go with that. Nice, nice, nice. Close that, close that, close that. Actually, what I should do, whoops, come back, is open up, not that, and run that alignment doobie that I have. Oh my gosh, there we go. And this just aligns it. It looks at the inclination of the orbit that you're in and picks the appropriate way to point the ship for all the solar panels that are aboard. So although we're in the sun's about to come up, there we're getting the sunrise now. It's got things nicely exposed for the solar panels. Okay, we'll turn on alarm clock. And yeah, we'll give ourselves an alarm for the sphere of influence change, which is coming up in just a little over 8 days. And then we will get ourselves back to the Space Center. My Kerbals are medium hard boiled. Yeah, they're getting cooked a little bit too much, I think. All right, we're going to go into the spaceplane hangar. There we are, because in the spaceplane hangar, I have my Minmus Station as it stands right now. There's my current Minmus Station. And it's nice to build this and put it together in the spaceplane hangar as opposed to the VAB, because it's easy to scroll left and right, and these things tend to be kind of horizontally built, at least the way I build them. So what I want to do is I want to put on, well, just a lab module. Not like it's a big deal. So what we're going to do is, let's get some docking ports. I also want to send up some, I think I'll stick it on the bottom here. I also want to send up some monopropellant as well with this, because they have actually quite a lot of fuel, liquid fuel and oxidizer, but what they are kind of short of is the monopropellant part of it. Okay, we'll put that on. We're just going to start with just getting the basics of what I want on there. And then we'll add on more as we feel like we need to. So then there's that. Okay, and this. So there's the basics of it. I'm going to want to add on some more like that. I do have a contract. I should probably show this if I go to selecting space station contracts. There we go. I got to do, okay, that's the supply run. But this one here, it says launch my first space station. This is my second space station. But this contract's not completed until I've attached at least one science lab module. So that's a big reason why this is on its way out there. So it needs some monopropellant. So what I'm thinking about, let's arrange these fuel tanks by mass. Just, how many's in one of these? Let's get rid of this window. That is, oh my gosh, I can't even tell. This is 80 kilograms of resources. Okay, well, let's see. Right now, there's no monopropellant on this thing. What if I just went here? Put that on, that on. Let's go with that kind of symmetry. Oh my gosh, there. That puts on, it says down here somewhere, 95 units of monopropellant. I think that should be fine. I think there's plenty of it. We don't use a lot of monopropellant out there, but I think this will be good. I'm just going to kind of tuck them in a little bit. This is really not going to be, maybe I'll rotate these this way. Like so. Okay. Now, I should mention as well, for people that are used to stock, Kerbalism changes completely the function of the Science Lab. The Science Lab isn't as powerful with Kerbalism as it is in the stock game. There isn't more science that you can do. What it does allow you to do is when you collect samples, so for instance, the Kerbals go and they land, they do some surface samples, instead of having to return those samples back to Kerbin, you can process them in the lab with a scientist, and it turns that science into transmittable science, so you can transmit it. There's no other science it can do other than working with samples. So that's really its only purpose. And because of that, it actually uses less electricity than the stock one does. This thing uses, somewhere along here, it must tell me how much. There it is. Electricity rate, EC rate, is 1 unit of electric charge per second. The stock one, in stock, the Science Lab uses 5 units of electricity. So if you are building a space station with a Science Lab on it, be aware that this consumes a ton of electricity in the stock game. Not so much here. Now, am I including... Oh, I can do some configuring. Let's look at the configuring here. I definitely want it to have a scrubber. I definitely want it to have pressure control. There's no reason for it to have a water recycler, so we'll turn that off. We can also configure the laboratory experiments. What can I do? Oh, mystery goo. There's no point to that. Materials based. Oh, that's it. Okay, there's not much. Not much there. And then we're going to turn on the lab. Yeah, if I enable the lab. Yeah, see here? Here it says 6.03 units of electric charge this thing is consuming per second. And then if I toggle the lab on, that goes up to 7. So this whole station, with everything running, consumes just over 7 units of electric charge per second, and it produces 9.8. So I think I don't even need to add on any more. Well, maybe I should add on. Just thinking, I'm going to add on some solar panels. Where should I put them? What if... I'm just going to play around with an idea. And this might be a dumb idea, but I'm going to play with it. Let's get some structural bits. What do I got for structural bits? What's this thing like? Well, that's a teeny tiny thing. What's this thing like? Here, this guy. No. Let's get a structural tube. Not structural fuselage. Structural tube. Is that? Oh, that's the big one. I want the smaller one. This one? That's still too big. That one. Put you on here. Maybe make it a little longer. Put that back. Get on... two-way symmetry. Build a kind of truss structure coming out. This might be a really dumb idea. I'm literally thinking about this right now. What do I have for robotic parts? You know, I never use the robotic parts. Hang on. Oops. Sorry, my mistake. Click on the robotics. Oh, all I got are... poop. All I got are rotors. Okay. This might... I'm not even convinced. The thing I'm concerned with... Actually, you know what? I think I can do it. Okay. I'm making little sense. The thing I would like to add just a little bit more electricity, but I would like the panels... That looks terrible. I'll fix that. But I'd like the panels to be oriented in the same way as these ones that I already have are oriented, so that they'll all just rotate towards the sun. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. And I'm doing an absolutely brutal job. Now this completely covers the docking port. Or doesn't cover it per se, but it does make this docking port much trickier to get to. But what I'm thinking... I'll put them on the next one and take a row off. what I'm thinking is I'll retract these at some date in the future. You know, they'll be on. I'll not use that docking port. This is kind of what I'm thinking. And I think I don't need as long as this is either now. This can be shorter. And I have lost my... It went inside. Oh my gosh. No. Yeah. Ha. Oh, now I lost that. I'm losing stuff on the inside here. There it is. I see it. I see it. I can get it. There. Okay. Flip that over again like that. Like that. That's what I'm shooting for. There. And yeah, when I get, there's a good, it's coming up in, when I get bigger panels, I can do EVAs and install them. I've yet to install the Gigantors and stuff. Actually, maybe that might be, you know, maybe that's a much, much smarter idea, rather than all this nonsense that I'm doing here. Is, I got Kerbals. I keep forgetting Kerbals can do construction. Why not just chuck a couple in here? There we go. There, we'll bring up some solar panels like that. We'll do some EVA construction. That's much more. And then we'll just attach them on the top here like the same with all the rest of it. That is so much smarter. So less dumb than what I'm doing. I'm going to take advantage of still having this. I like this little docking tube here. There, 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 there. That's it. I'm done. That's I'm good. So if I need the extra electricity, I got panels stored in here. Kerbals can attach them. That makes way more. Oh, those panels can't be retracted. Thank you, Zed in the chat. Zed in the chat. Thank you. We'll put these ones on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Honestly, I'm thinking I don't really. Oh, lights. We need lights, of course. Let's put on some lights. But other than that, I'm really thinking, I don't know if I need much else. I'm going to take this, rotate it this way. Oh my goodness. Okay, every button I'm pushing is wrong. That way. Because I want to install the lights here. Two of them like that. Make them white. Turn them on. This is just to sort of light up the station a little bit. Thank you for reminding me that those panels don't retract. Maybe roll or rotate them just a little bit this way. That looks pretty good. Just to help to light up the station. That's all this is about. Lights on. They're doing something, right? I can't even tell they're on. Maybe I just need to move them closer. Let's see, up here. That's a better idea. Roll them in a bit. Slide them in a little bit. That looks okay. That's better. Was I turning the blink on and off? I might have been. Okay, so lights like that. I think that should be okay. And then some red and green lights. Yeah, they are going where I want them to be. Okay. About here. There. Those can be white as well. This guy I want to be. We'll say this is the left side, the port side. Gonna put the blink on. There we go. And then we'll do this one. We'll remove the symmetry and make that one green. I don't know what you decide is up and down. It's sort of arbitrary, isn't it? I'm feeling I need something else. What texture changes can I get? I think the blank. Well, no. These. No, I don't want orange. No orange. We're already got kind of a. But maybe that might look okay. That means that these should be the gray ones. There we go. And maybe a single. Are there hatches on? We'll leave it. It's fine. It's fine. I think I'm good. We're going to leave it like that. Okay, let's save this. This is our new Minmus Station. And what we're going to do is we got to put this into a subassembly. Now, I want this to be the attachment point in the subassembly. So what I'm going to do is put on a... Here, did I save this right? Yeah. I'm going to put on another docking port. There it is. Make that docking port the root part. Take this whole piece and throw it away. This is why I was checking that I saved it. And then go into subassemblies. And now I can grab that. But now this... shoot. I missed the docking port. But now that docking port is the attachment point. We'll drop that in there. This is our Minmus Lab module. Okay, and then we're going to go new, switch over to the VAB, and build something that will get this where it needs to go. So we're going to start now with an Octo probe core, the Octo 2, which is my highest level one. There it is. And let's put... Let's put the 2.5 meter... No, that's the big one. The littler one. That one. Little service bay around it. This is just so I can attach a docking port on the top. And then I can grab my lab module and there we go. All right, we need to get that there. I'm not sure I'm going to use the mission to swap the crew. Zed's asking, are you going to use this mission to swap the crew? And I don't think I am, because I don't want to wait the 8 days for this to get out there with my crew at 50%, over 50% radiation exposure. So I'm kind of inclined to just, while this is on the way back, send... Sorry, I'm looking for reaction wheels. There we are. While this is on its way back, send my Kerbal. Well, this is on its way out to Minmus. I'm going to send the Kerbals back, so this will go. So it'll be uncrewed when this thing docks. And I'm not super happy about that, but I think that's the best plan. Now, I need to get this out there, and so I want some sort of a pusher vehicle. I'm going to need some fuel cans here. Let's see. I can be reasonably confident. Let's arrange these. Oh, they're already arranged by mass. Oh, that's a biggie. Okay, let's... I got a feeling this is pretty heavy, so... let's see. Now if I stick... I got a feeling a Terrier is not going to be enough. No, I want more thrust than that. Delta V's okay though. What happens if I stick a Poodle on the bottom of this? Poodle engine. 2321. Yeah, that's around the Delta V I'm looking for. Plenty of thrust. Kind of like this. Where's the different shapes? This one. I like that. I like that shape. Okay. All right, let's add in some more stuff. I need a KOS probe core. Minmus Station won't be too giant. And everything that's there is serves a function. Nothing's there without purpose. Okay, let's actually use some batteries to give some something to stick things to here. Let's just stick in a battery like that, and I need RCS. RCS fuel. I don't need a lot. All it's got to do is dock, and that's going to be the end of it. These are my smallest one, the Stratus 5 minified tank. Can I sneak these in here? I sneak that on there. And just take that and rotate it. They're bulging out, but we will cheat. Clip those in a little bit. I'm comfortable with that. There we go. Okay, and Delta V still okay, I think, yeah. And let's put on some thruster blocks. I think I'm gonna need the bigger ones, the ones that have the higher thrust. I guess that's these guys. Put on 4 of them down here towards the bottom. And another group up here towards the top somewhere. And then we'll use a Kerbal to remove these ones. And I'm going to use RCS Build Aid, which is a super duper helpful little mod here. And it tells you just how much torque you're producing and then what you can do. So right now, if I translate to the right, we end up with 1.46 kilonewton meters of torque. So I'm just going to grab these and move them. Oh, looks like they got to come downwards. Actually, I just realized too, most of this fuel will be gone. Right? 12, yeah, let's take out most of the fuel. That's the state in which it'll probably be docking in. It'll be using up most of this. Okay, so we're going to put them way up here. There we go. 0.001 kilonewtons of torque. That won't even be noticeable. We'll put the fuel back in. That will help with the docking, and now we can turn that off. Woo! Some more lighty lights. Doesn't need a lot. Oh, it's going to need communication. We'll deal with that too. These will be like amber or flashy lights. So I like my amber flashy lights. Put the blink on, yellow, but then tilt them just a little bit towards amber. There we go. Communication, it does need just a communitron will do. And it's going to need some form of solar generation too. Should be, oh, I think that will clip the doors. Yeah, so I'm gonna extend that antenna. That's no good. Want that to kind of slide out like that, but then when it's retracted, yeah, that's fine. Okay, and solar panels, and just you know, a little circle of aux stats will be fine. This thing's not going to use a lot of electricity. Not until there's Kerbals in there doing science, it won't be using a lot of electricity. So there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. All right, let's go through my checklist. And I guess, is this a crude craft? Either way, fine print. I looked at the contract. Contract's just space. I got lots of yeah. It's just got to get this attached. I think that's okay. And it'll have control. It sure does. Yep, it'll have KOS Probe Core. I put it. Oh, I got to configure said KOS Probe Core. Up the disk space, put in a boot file. While I'm thinking about it, I also should configure this unmanned experiments. This won't be doing any experiments. There we go. Cabin space has been configured. Food, water, oxygen. Nobody's on it right now. And there's stuff out there. Radiation protection. See, there we go. We're going to take this and we're going to up the shielding. That might take down our delta V, but up the shielding because the scientist is going to have to work in there. And that decreased our delta V. Okay, so now I got to think about adding on some more fuel. I need some more fuel because I just added a whole bunch of weight because of that. What if I just stick in one of these? Does that help? I would like this to be in around the 2250 range. Something in that sort of sphere. Shoot, I wish I thought about the shielding a little earlier. I'm also trying to keep this thing from getting too long in the tooth as it is. Okay, how about if I put on one of these on the bottom? That's more than enough fuel. Still tons of thrust. Of course, this is going to mess up. I'll move these thruster blocks. Now I'm going to have to do the RCS. I've got to balance the RCS again. Let's take out a bunch of fuel because this thing will use up fuel on the way up there. RCS Build Aid. Okay, we're going to be moving these guys. Up, 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 up. There we go. That should be good. Put the fuel back in. To be honest, it might even have a little too much fuel, but we'll leave it like this for now. Okay. Radiation protection is now done. Science, it's not going to do any. Power generation's good. Electrical storage should be fine. Antenna strength is fine. Antenna speed is fine. Data storage is irrelevant. Propulsion it's got. RCS did that. Parachutes doesn't need. Thermal protection doesn't need. Lights I've done. Upgrades. How many ignitions are on this here poodle engine? 14 ignitions. This might be doing a fair. I'm gonna upgrade that poodle engine. Cargo. I've done the cargo it needs. TWR is fine. Okay, fairing and staging I still gotta think about. Okay. Let's add on some struts. This is probably going to be a little bit on the wonky side. The way it is right now. That should be good. Just to stiffen up that connection. Okay. Now we got to think about fairing. I think I know what I'm going to do with the fairing in just a sec. But, oh, this is Minmus Lab module. All right. I'm thinking this is okay.